This is the American Midwest. Its grain, pork, and beef feed the world. That's a big job for seemingly so few people. No teeming masses and crowded freeways, but small towns with individuals. Perhaps there's only room for individuals here. Individuals who can work as a team and become Iowa Beef Processors Incorporated, the largest slaughterer and processor of beef in the world. With its corporate headquarters located in Dakota City, Nebraska, Iowa Beef was founded only 20 years ago when two cattlemen, Currier Holman and Andy Anderson, qualified for a small business administration loan. One of the first of their many innovative contributions to the beef industry was to go to the source of supply and build their first plant in the small town of Denison, Iowa.
Morning, Al.
Morning, Stan. How are you this morning?
Fine.
This enabled IBP cattle buyers to deal directly with the cattlemen themselves. In its early years, Iowa Beef was part of an industry which had been distributing the same product the same way for nearly half a century. Beef carcasses were shipped to retail customers all over the country where they were individually processed. Convinced there were more efficient ways to procure, slaughter, process, and market beef products, Iowa Beef pioneered a processing and marketing concept in 1967 which would revolutionize the industry. This concept is called boxed beef, the mass disassembly of the beef carcass into vacuum-packed, boxed primal and subprimal cuts at point of slaughter, and the direct marketing and delivery of carload shipments of that boxed beef to customers throughout the nation. This concept automatically improves shelf life and sanitation. It eliminates unnecessary labor, reduces energy consumption, transportation, and other costs associated with the selling, shipping, and marketing of whole carcasses. Not since the introduction of refrigeration had the beef industry been affected by so dramatic a change, and a good example of what the boxed beef concept actually meant can be easily illustrated. If we can imagine a carload of carcasses, our basic beef source, as a truckload of logs, our basic lumber source, and picture a carload of boxed beef as a truckload of finished lumber, we can immediately see the ingenious simplicity of the boxed beef concept. But boxed beef meant innovation and change to an industry steeped in tradition. To meet the challenge, IBP molded capital and talent into one of the most efficient organizations the industry has ever known. The Center for Modern Meat Management was established at IBP headquarters in Dakota City. Unequaled in the industry, these seminars were soon attracting corporate executives and meat department personnel from food retailers across the country.
The purpose of the school is to bring in customers or potential customers to first of all identify the concept of boxed beef, and secondly to get down to the economics of boxed beef versus swinging beef, and then specifically IBP boxed beef versus anybody else in the industry.
We have a 3-piece boneless chuck, and what we're saying is that out of every 100 pounds,
we identify reasons for losses in their gross profit dollars.
I want to show you another way of merchandising for profit and putting the meat where the money is.
We try to pinpoint these specifics so they in turn can go back and develop programs on their own, using materials that we give them to help them run a better meat department through better workmanship, through meat recovery programs, through better merchandising techniques, through accurate record keeping. It's what we identify as a planned program.
Several programs on the computer, those being doing our cutting test on the computer.
I don't know of anybody else in the industry, whether it be a packer, a processor, or frankly some of the retailers, who have gotten this sophisticated in operations of their meat departments. We show the people in attendance that they can project their meat departments week in and week out and not really miss that projection by any more than 0.5%. And what that does is really take the meat department somewhat out of the dark ages, if you will, and put it into a class of modern meat management.
Not only did IBP convince potential customers to switch to the boxed beef concept, they assured them that Iowa Beef was capable of supplying a constant flow of boxed beef in the volume they demanded. Under the supervision of its own engineering and construction division, working with the operations management team, Iowa Beef's growth and modernization program has averaged either an expansion, upgrading, or construction of a new facility every 2 years. Facilities which include the most productive beef slaughtering and processing plants in the world. State-of-the-art technology is an integral part of IBP's policy of innovation and change, where computerization, mechanization, and manual expertise complement each other in an environment of modern productivity which slaughters and processes over 5 million head of grain-fed cattle a year. Research and implementation of energy-conserving practices and environmental standards are priority objectives in the planning, construction, and operation of all IBP facilities. Communications has always been a key factor at Iowa Beef. It has the largest non-commercial microwave system in the nation and incorporates the use of a communication satellite to ensure a continuing dialogue among members of a company which has now expanded to include 11 major facilities in 7 states with over 10,000 employees.
Okay, Charlie, let's get started. What do we have for market?
The marketing meeting is held on a daily basis. We try to get a reading on the live cattle and dressed carcass markets, as well as boxed beef, byproducts, and hides.
Hundredweight to a buck, a hundredweight by the end of the week.
We buy and sell on a daily basis. We try not to get out in front too far. We don't speculate. We carry only minimum inventory. Our system has been designed, our physical facilities constructed to avoiding any and all risk-taking.
Iowa Beef's phenomenal growth and productivity is the result of a team as industrious as it is creative. It's a hands-on operation, one of the most centralized companies in the nation today.
I agree with Charlie's statement. It should get better. Well, then let's set the marketing plan. We'll go through like this till Wednesday, then we'll firm up Saturday, and...
What'd you do at your marketing meeting?
Every one of our top management people know what we pay for cattle, what our cost of production is, and what the price of beef is every day. We know that at noon because we usually eat together. We never lose focus. No one person can be creative or productive here without communications.
Top, and which must mean strong rather than weak.
We work as a team constantly.
Next 2 weeks should be good.
My Laverne count for Tuesday is 693, Wednesday 392.
Members of IBP's cattle procurement department have supervised the purchase of more cattle than anyone in the history of the world. They are in constant communication with cattle buyers in the field.
Okay, Omaha gets 5,500 this morning. Buying staff right now comprises of about 80 buyers. We have code calls every day starting at 7:30 in the morning on how we want our choice cattle bought. This is choice yield grade 3 cattle. For Dakota City, on your better steers, we want to be darn selective on those. It also entails telling them delivery dates, trying to keep the cattle scheduled in to each plant so that we can maintain our kill levels.
What are you going to price these cattle at today?
Well, I think we ought to...
Most of the people in the business are real good people and know their end of the business as well as we do. And each fellow you trade with is different.
Well, you're a little bit tough today, Al, I think.
Of course, we're very aggressive a lot of times, just like anybody else.
I just can't do it, Stan.
Well, we don't want to take any cut on them.
Well, I know
These
you don't.
ranchers, when they buy them, they won't let you cut them either.
If you don't want them cut, you shouldn't put them in there. I'll tell you what I will do, though.
But you still have to get along with the people to be able to make trades.
What I like about IBP, you can sell them 300 or 400 heads. You don't have to dealing them off in about one pot load or so. That's what I like. The buyers, I kid them a lot, you know.
Well, what do you think?
Boy, they're awful nice cattle, Kenneth.
Well, I know they're nice. No doubt about it.
Well, if that's the case, I'll give you...
I look for a good, honest fellow. If I want, you know, what's a fair price. And I want to treat him right.
Got to take it into consideration a few yield grade 4s on them.
Well, of course, you always have a 4 problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess maybe usually he hits it pretty close. And a big bunch of cattle, it takes a pretty sharp eye to really see everything.
In the beef, good. They're nice, desirable cattle. We need them for the kill tomorrow. Just load them early tomorrow morning and have them down to the plant about 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
Right.
I'll try and get them done at that time then.
The largest herd of cattle ever driven on the famous Chisholm Trail was 3,000 head. Iowa Beef will slaughter and process a herd 7 times that size every single day.
When I started with Iowa Beef, it was my first opportunity to see automation at work. Seeing beef fabricated is in itself really miraculous to see how fast it can be done. After the beef is slaughtered and put in our sales cooler and selected to be cut for processing, that's where our end of it begins. And from there we cut it, break it up on a moving chain into primals and subprimals and into trimmings. And it goes through various phases of this operation. The real reason that Iowa Beef is better is because everything is in conformity. If you would, for example, order as a customer a load of strips today and you ordered another load 3 months from now, you'd have the same product. You'd have the same fat thickness, same quality, the same integrity. We try our best to keep it that way through training, through quality control, which is a big asset to the company.
While federal USDA inspectors monitor every step of slaughter and processing, it is the finely tuned and trained eyes of IBP's quality control personnel who ensure a uniform and quality product unequaled in the industry. While productivity is important to IBP, company policy maintains quality control independent of production. This guarantees a constant and objective evaluation of every product which goes into an IBP container. Containers which are sealed, directed, stored, and recalled by computerization.
This is central sales and pricing. It's in the corporate headquarters. It's strictly box beef sales, and we have 9 service centers throughout the country. Each individual territory is broken down geographically where they handle X amount of customers. We put a price list out. I would say we're close to 160, 170 different items. We have approximately 33 different types of cattle combinations that you can buy, whether it be regular cattle with 4 parts with a bone in, or it's a boneless chuck, boneless round. There's many combinations.
You want 54 choices.
Rounds, 153.45. Loins in the cattle.
We know that we have X amount of cattle coming at us every day, and we basically sell that way. For the operation we have, you just have to sell every day.
What do you feel this 50-50 market's going to do? You feel it'll hold at this level?
We exchange ideas and thoughts on the market to the best of our ability, what we think is going to happen with the carcass market, the box beef market, the trimming market. And as I said, it doesn't necessarily mean we're right, but at least we have exchanged ideas in the company, and by doing this, we've built a very strong team as well as an IBP company.
Now the price has got to stay the same.
Carcass sales is different from the other selling functions of the company in that we have plant sales personnel. Our people are responsible not only for selling carcasses outside, but also for categorizing the carcasses that go to our processing plants, as well as assuring that proper grades are applied.
And yield 4s, what are you looking for Thursday and Friday on those?
What are you paying, 101? $1?
The whole thing we do is strictly from a teamwork point of view. When one of us makes a mistake, we've all made a mistake. When one of us does something right, we've all done something right. We have to treat it not only within our own department, but among all departments as a team effort and a corporate affair.
Would you get back on the low-protein material out of Basco?
But as far as, like I said earlier, the pet food demand seems to be out there.
This is Variety Meats and Rendered Products. It's one of 4 different sales areas within the Iowa beef team.
California market has real good movement this week.
We generally are responsible for the entire mass of our byproduct, other than that of hides. We currently deal in over 13 different industries, both on a domestic and a foreign basis.
And it is here, within this department, where we begin to realize the impact of IBP's success story. The result of their team effort is economy of scale. Again, comparable to the lumber industry, which has the economy of scale to market the total tree, turning residuals of their fabricating process into valuable byproducts, Iowa Beef now has the capital, technology, and talent to market the total beef animal as never before. Residuals once lost now contribute to the research and manufacturing of products which enhance our lives daily. And byproducts once marketed for other uses are now shipped around the world to supplement the protein diets of many lands. Iowa beef is also the largest single source of uniform hides in the world. And as the lumber industry has gone into the molecular structure of the tree and discovered products never before dreamt possible, IBP is researching and developing its own impossible dream. A dream to help correct an imbalance between the world's beef supply and the demand for it as a major source of protein by developing new meat products and to find new ways to help feed a hungry world. And they are succeeding because Iowa Beef Processors is a team of talented and dedicated individuals who have an operating philosophy which maintains the spirit and integrity of the cattlemen who founded their company.
We are determined people. We are aggressive people. We are doers. We are detailed, not broad brush. We are Midwesterners. We are a mixture of formally educated and practically experienced people. We are planners. We capitalize on change. We are challengers. We are not interested in the past other than to take direction from it. We are opinionated. We are not thin-skinned. We are livestock people. We are production and sales people. We are a company of control, and we are very profit-oriented. We are a team. We have the esprit de corps that makes a good company great, and we are determined to see it through.